Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to TATtalk Tuesday. So today we're going to be talking about tattoos again. So right here, I'm going to break down this tattoo that you see right here. It's a 3/4 sleeve, and there's a lot of symbols in it. I'm going to break it down, but I want to talk about the Patutiki designs that I did and how it's used to create a story. Here's some other tattoos just to go over. Here's a chest piece that I did before, and I finished shading this back piece right here, and I'm just going to talk about how you can piece together some Polynesian tattoos and later on get a half sleeve or something. This is an Aztec piece that we talked about in the past, and I finally finished it, so I just want to show you guys. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you guys another piece I did that's not Polynesian tribal, but it was a fun piece to do. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Welcome to TATtalk Tuesday, everyone. My name is Josh. I'm the host of the show, and we are joined here with James Sanabria. What up?
What's up, man?
It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's good to have you on.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
So, those of you that have been watching the show in the past, James was a co-host, and then he got a new job, and he left us. So, how's that been?
Oh, it's been good, man. It's staying busy, and that's about it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, working from home. It's different. It's fun.
Okay.
Got a lady in the life now.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's about time, man.
How's that?
Yeah, before it was all dudes, and it was kind of crazy. So
you wanted to get away from that, change it up. Yeah.
That's a joke, by the way, everybody. Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah, we know him.
Yeah, we know that. So I want to say what's up to Bobby, Big John, Myrna, Derek, George, and Pono, Marie, and everyone else watching. How's it? Thanks for joining us. We're going to break down Polynesian tattoos and have James join us here.
Yes.
It's been a while, and it's good to have you on.
Thank you, man. I missed it.
Just want to say that. All right. So let's start off. We have a lot to go over. So let's start off with this tattoo right here. Which one are we going to talk about first? Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, everyone, I pieced together tattoos. A lot of people don't come in to get an 8 to 10 hour session all at once. So if you want to come in and get like a 2-hour session, a 4-hour session, and your ultimate plan is to have a back piece, a full sleeve, and a chest piece, this is kind of an example of what you can do. Sometimes we do a whole outline of everything, and I want to show this piece because he did it a little different. He first wanted to do his chest and then his back piece. So as you can see, this back piece, it's completely done, but there's an opening where the shoulder is, and then here's his chest piece, and you could see the opening near his shoulder as well. And then you can just imagine that his next session, he's going to come in and do the whole half sleeve. So, again, I just want to give you guys an idea of, or an options. You have options, right, James?
Yeah, I'm assuming. I was watching, or I was looking at a post you guys did on Instagram, probably last week, or about, if you're going to get a piece, do I have to get the whole piece? Where can I start? And this looks like you did front, back, and then he's going to potentially do a side of the arm.
And I wanted to show this piece only because it's kind of different. I wanted to show the piece because it was different how he pieced it together. I normally either do like the outline or complete the chest, and then we do half sleeve or something, but he wanted to do a little different, so I wanted to give everyone a visual on that, just to give everyone options. It's good to have everyone
I'd never in all the time watching options. You tattoo people, I'd never seen you do anything like that, so that's pretty cool to have that option.
Yeah. So this next piece you like, right? Aztec.
Yeah, dude, my peeps.
That's your people,
My
man.
people, man. I think I even messaged you about, maybe because I saw a portion of this one and I said, hey,
Yeah.
you know, can you do Aztec stuff?
And mix it, maybe.
Yeah, and mix it with poly. It's pretty dope.
And something I learned from Robert, I mean, I didn't know this, but culture is important. And he said, because I said, oh, the Mexican tattoo. I mean, I don't know. He's Mexican. And then he wanted an Aztec / Mayan piece, which I think there's a difference there too, as far as location and region of Mexico or South America.
Yeah, probably.
Right, James?
Yeah.
So he said, no, it's Aztec, and the people are Aztec, because Mexican, there's a lot of like Spanish influence, and he broke it down, which is good that he's on to be able to educate on that. Cause I don't know. But
yeah, I definitely don't either.
And you're Mexican, right?
Yeah, Mexican.
Yeah, give a little background on your ethnicity, James.
I'm just Mexican, man. I
From what part?
Arcadia, California.
Okay, that kind of Mexican.
Yeah, that kind of Mexican. I didn't grow up. I grew up, in LA area, so it was predominantly all. It wasn't even LA. It's like a small suburb, but it was predominantly all like white folks and Asians. So I didn't grow up like in the Hispanic culture too much. So I was never really in touch with it. But we've been to Mexico City, and I like the whole. I guess the designs, I don't really know what any of them mean, like the Aztec or Mayan stuff.
Right.
They're just appealing to the eye.
It's interesting to break this down because we're showing an Aztec tattoo, but how is it being Mexican, growing up in only America, and then going back to Mexico City?
Oh, well, we talked about this, man. It was really.
I like hearing it, though.
It was I'm just saying it was really crummy. It's a crummy thing because you grow up being Mexican, and I grew up in that area of the predominantly different cultures, and growing up, it's like my mom's like, oh, we're Mexican. I'm like, all right, cool, we're Mexican. And then I go to Mexico City, with you, and then we meet some actual locals there, and they asked me, what ethnicity I was, and I was like, oh, I'm Mexican. And they asked me again, and I said, I'm Mexican, and they're like, what makes you Mexican? I said, well, I'm brown, for one. I speak Spanish. Like barely, if I have to.
Hanging on there,
yeah,
right?
Just barely hanging on. But they're like, no, you're not Mexican. And to them, people that were born in Mexico, you have to be Mexican. You have to be born in Mexico, is what they had told me. Which is crummy, because then like I go into like a tailspin. Like, okay, so what am I? So now I just say I'm American with Mexican descent.
All of that. You say all of that?
Yeah, they're like, oh, what are you? I'm an American with Mexican descent. Yeah. And then I finished the text message with the American flag.
Susanna says you're American that happens to be a Mexican. Or to be Mexican.
So it's essentially the same thing, right? I'm American with Mexican descent? I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's crummy. Because, I mean, I can't really, I'm not associated to any specific group.
Belong.
Yeah.
And then if you're here and you're like, I'm American. They're like, you're a Mexican. What are you talking about?
You want a burrito, bro?
Yeah. I get it. And same with me. I'm Chamorro.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Hawaii, so.
You're Hawaiian.
I always say, no, I'm Chamorro, but I grew up in Hawaii. But imagine I go back to Guam, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're all Chamorro out there. They're all like, have accents. And,
half a day.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm Chamorro. And they're like, nah, you're not Chamorro.
Yeah.
Because I don't have an accent. I'm Americanized. Even when I go back home to Hawaii, it's like, oh, you're howlified.
Oh, is that
like
a thing?
haole?
Yeah.
Which when I grew up in Hawaii and then I moved to Florida, I talked all pidgin and I had an accent, and I grew out of that. But I had to adapt. So I guess the belonging, it kind of makes sense. It's like, and I hate that.
It's definitely crummy.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Here's Robert with his stuff.
Half of the U.S. was Mexico.
Come on, bro.
Robert. So Robert is normally on the show, but he's sick today. But I'm glad he can join us.
Get better soon.
What's up, Mike and Dax? What's up, brother? And Susanna says, when you travel to Mexico, they call us Americans.
Yeah,
they called you American.
They called me
yeah.
a gringo, pretty much, which is kind of like
Haole,
a haole.
yeah.
A white person, I guess.
And Bobby says, I'm half Japanese, but I'm so Americanized that I don't know my culture.
Same, Bobby. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. Isn't that almost all of America? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's, you know.
I mean, everybody but Robert Suarez. he's really he's in there, and it's good, man. I'm a little envious that I don't know. Like, one, I don't know where I'm from, really. I like like where my family's from, where to trace the roots back to. So it's always been like I wanted to try and do it. You go to ancestry.com or like those are different things, but I think some of those people have to populate the information within the family so that you can
connect.
To connect all the
right.
family and stuff. So I never got anywhere with that, but I know there's a castle with my last name in Spain.
Is Sanabria one line?
Excuse me.
Or is it like Cruz? There's so many different families with Cruz. That's not related.
I think there's multiple ones. But like I've done research, a little bit of research where there's like a huge group of Sanabrias in Puerto Rico, which I don't know any Puerto Ricans, and then there's some in Spain, there's some in Mexico. They're kind of all over. They're just so I don't really know how it works.
Well,
but if you guys know, holler at me.
Well, this is it's good, and this is a live show, guys. So you guys can comment on this topic because it's very common, especially with clients coming in that aren't Polynesian and want to get a Polynesian tattoo because they connect with the culture in many different ways, whether it's they have family, whether they're Mexican but married to a Chamorro girl, so they want a Polynesian tattoo because it's an island-style tattoo. Mm-hmm. That happens all the time. And they're worried because they want to respect the culture. So they're saying, is it okay? Am I allowed? And all this. And it's good to think about this because a lot of times we're the ones judging, right? And we've even had guests or a guest that
Did we not air
points
the show?
Finger. We did.
Remember?
We had technical difficulties, but we
it was almost
we did have a guest
almost
that
a brawl.
And I don't want to judge, but this particular person had her own reasons why she doesn't think that someone that's not Hawaiian should get a Hawaiian tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, I can respect that, but I think she might have been overcompensating too and just kind of, I don't know. Shout out to her, though.
Or him.
Yeah, or him.
We don't know.
Yeah, my bad.
But regardless, this is it's a good topic. And anyways, let's get back to the tattoo. So here's an Aztec tattoo that I did. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I'm an Aztec master and know all about Aztec Mayan tattoos, but I did study as much as I could within the time period that I had to prepare, and I try to include symbols where he's from. And he's from Oaxaca, and I had some books that I was like learning and trying to read up on, and it's very different from Polynesian tattoos as far as the way that you put it together. It might look similar. It's similar, but to calculate how to lay it down in a creative way with their patterns, the Aztec patterns, it's really different. It's just different, and I like it because it creates growth in me. It makes me it challenges me, and I love this piece. And he's actually gonna do his whole other arm.
same style,
same style.
Did you see any similarities in like the Aztec or Mayan like design with poly stuff, or you just made it like a poly type flow with all of Aztec?
So when I started looking into it, when I just saw some Aztec tribal designs in my head, I said, oh, easy, similar, I could do this. And when I try to put it together, it wasn't as easy as I thought. And I had to break it down a little easier. I had to take a little more time, prepare a little more, and I just did things differently. And I'm going to do things differently on his other arm, and that's just how it works. But I like how it came out, and I have other ideas for his other arm, and that's just what happens with progress and evolving, right?
Yeah. You did the whole thing, including that's not the calendar, is it?
It's the center of the Aztec calendar,
okay.
And then he has the serpents going around and just different stamps and patterns, put together.
Yeah.
Glenn has a comment. He says, I think a lot has to do with ethnicity, more like why do you look the way you do? Dark skin, bone structure, As far as I think a lot. Okay, I don't. What do you think, James?
Well, I'm trying to figure out the context and how he's using it. So, I think it has to do with ethnicity. So, I think maybe he's saying where we associate ourselves with, like maybe.
Oh,
like
right,
with,
right.
Like where we belong. I think how we look.
And
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, you could tell
Did he
what
just call
ethnicity.
me dark, though, or?
You could tell someone's ethnicity by obviously their looks, but what IslandTAT was based on was traditions altogether, as far as everyone just coming together, because looks, even blood, just doesn't matter. It's the heart.
Yeah.
Like me and you connect. We've always connect, but we're totally opposite. Like we grew up in way different ways,
right.
different ethnicities, different families, everything, and everyone understands that. So why don't we act it? We're just so proud. Our pride in our own culture, like, kind of turns negative sometimes because then it divides.
Right. It's like, oh, my culture is better than your culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Like,
but really,
and we should be proud, definitely, but not in a way where we put others down,
right.
but in a way where we can share our culture, and that's not what I'm seeing today. And tattoos can be a way where you could share your culture.
Definitely.
If you respect it.
Yeah.
Ronnie Camacho Sr. What's up, Ronnie? I still remember tattooing his son in LA when I was guest spotting.
That's so crazy.
And that was years ago. What's up, Ronnie? Josh, you are far from Mahali. I am from Jersey and I'm lost. LOL. You are what you are. It is what you identify with.
Yeah. Totally. I think Glenn might have been saying the same thing.
Like, who cares what other people think?
Yeah.
Like, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I personally, I want to say I personally don't, but that time that I was in Mexico City, that kind of stung a little bit. But other than that, I mean, it's fine now. I mean, I don't really associate myself as like being Mexican too much.
Well, I think it's definitely a self-identity issue. And if anything stings, if someone judges you in any way,
yeah,
and it stings, it does definitely call upon your own. You have to question your own self-identity. Like, well, why does it sting?
Right.
Because it shouldn't. And then you just, like, figure that out. And once you figure it out, no one can tell you otherwise. You say, screw it. You could, yeah. Well, I love this saying. What you think has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Even what you say about me, it has nothing to do with me.
What you eat don't make me
Huh?
That's like the same thing.
What? Say it again?
What you eat don't make me sh. What you eat doesn't make me sh.
Like quiet?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter, right? Like whatever somebody else does, it shouldn't matter.
It does.
Like,
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just
you got more creative with the. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more.
I'm not that far into sayings. All right. So Bobby Ford, do you ever stencil it? You know what? There are some pieces on that Aztec tattoo that I did stencil. If you look at, let's take a look. So I stenciled his elbow. And man, I don't know if I got a picture. Let's see another angle of this tattoo. No, on the very back. Let's see. We're gonna take a look at the very back of the elbow. Oh, right. Okay, the forearm. There's a piece on the forearm, right there. In the center, I stenciled that. So basically, anything that's symmetrical or is very definite, like it needs to be perfect, I'll go ahead and stencil. Right. I could freehand anything, but I want the tattoo to be as perfect as possible. And sometimes it calls for freehanding when you could flow. But when something is depiction of a symbol that's very definite, like I said, then a stencil is called for.
That's pretty wild, man. It looks really good.
Let's see that inside piece.
Yeah.
It's hard to see up there, huh? So there's a delay.
Yeah.
So this is the inside of the tattoo. And there's sometimes where you can create it using the same idea as Polynesian tattoos as far as repetition and balance.
There wasn't anything in there about, I guess, putting two designs shapes next to each other that weren't supposed to go together. Is there anything like that?
As far as balance and flow, definitely. That's why it took a long time, because I was kind of placing it together as I would a Polynesian tattoo, and it wasn't balanced. It wasn't flowing right. It just wasn't working.
Yeah.
So it took a while. It did definitely take a while to put this together.
When you say a while, Stephanie actually asked how long was the session for this sleeve?
Oh, the whole sleeve, man. That's a lot of detail. That took
multiple sessions, I'm assuming?
I'm thinking 4
sessions
or 5, but I would say total about 20 to 22 hours or something.
Whoa.
Something like that.
That's a lot.
And a normal full sleeve takes about 18 to 20.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's a long time.
It is a long time. And actually, so I just recently tattooed Jadena. I could talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
I couldn't talk about it before. I'm not going to show any photos. Maybe later I will. But he broke a record. It's really interesting.
What kind of record?
So Jadena, he sang the song Classic Man. He's a rapper.
Can you hum it? I'm a classic man.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Okay, yeah. So you tattooed him. That's cool, man.
Anyway, so he broke a record. That's what's amazing because it was his first tattoo ever. And he said he wanted to get his chest piece and full sleeve. And we did a long consultation because he's from Nigeria and he wanted to have Igbo. That's his people, Igbo symbols. So I had to go and do research on that. And it's really interesting. I liked it. It had some similarities as well. But we created his whole piece. And I said, you want to get a chest piece and a full sleeve? And you guys can see some of the design on Instagram. So if you go to Jadena's Instagram, you could see he recently posted some pictures of his tattoo. Not only of his tattoo, but you kind of see it. Anyways, I told him a full chest will take 4 to 5 hours, and then a full sleeve 20 hours. That's 25 hours. And if you're he wanted to bust it out in one session. And I'm like, honestly, people's first tattoo, they always do better for me when it's their first tattoo.
Right.
Always do better. And I do a lot of first tattoos. But 25 hours in 2 days, that's crazy. But he was down. He was like, man, I'm down. I could do it. And he had a lot of story with it. Right. And I can't wait to break that tattoo down. When we break that tattoo down, I mean, it's crazy because... Well, just as crazy as any of these tattoos, but the impact and him being a leader, because not only is he a leader in music, he's trying to, be a chief in Nigeria because of his lineage and his family. So there was a lot in his tattoo that talks about that.
Wow.
But regardless, one day he did, what was it, 12 hours? And then the next day, 26 hours.
Jeez.
We got done on the second day at like 4 in the morning.
That's insane. I'm sure he had time constraints as well, right, to try and get it done.
Well, he was going to go to the Grammy. He was going to the Grammys, so this was, months ago, and he couldn't. I mean, and honestly, not even because his arm, which was raw, but he took that like I was like, what the heck, man? He normally on the first day after a couple hours, like 10 hours, I mean.
A couple.
I mean, I'm saying the last couple hours of the day, people are just, it's so raw, they're just like, kind of trembling. Right. That's completely normal, He wasn't. And I was like, okay, he might last the second day. The second day, he started like not even trembling. He started like just hurting and kind of being uncomfortable at like hour 12. So we're already at 2 a.m., and I was like, okay, I need a break, like I gotta focus because I mean, when you're in that long, my body is just breaking down, and I was just like, I gotta do it. And as a tattoo artist, you start deteriorating. Your work starts going down, and, and you have to. It's really hard to not just break down and just tat whatever. Be complacent.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't ever do that.
Try and rush through it, right? I mean,
exhausted, oh, exactly. Like, oh, this doesn't need shading. Screw it. They don't know.
Right.
And a lot of artists do that, because they don't know. The client don't know. And I never do that. So what I do personally is I just stop the session. I just, you know what? It's just better we stop, come back. But I couldn't. He had to get it done. So I was like, wake up, man. Like, game on. But anyways,
26
we'll
hours.
talk about that. 26 hours, 2 days.
I look forward to seeing that.
That's a record, yeah.
the full thing.
And I saw on Instagram, I saw the piece, and it still looks good. Like he took care of it.
Yeah,
it's nice.
That's
Very
awesome,
nice.
man. Good for
Yes,
him,
sir. So let's see.
Any Polynesian artists in Taiwan?
Not that I know of.
No, but for a small
Andrian?
fee, Josh and I will go out there. Just kidding. I will though, for sure.
Taiwan. I've never. Oh, I stopped in Taiwan. I never like checked it out. Bobby Ford, how do you make a tattoo look good on darker skin tone?
Like how dark? Are we talking?
Den is black, so.
But he's like a.
He's a little lighter, but
can you say light black?
Yeah, but he's
like a caramel.
He's dark enough that I had to take it into account. Just like Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is dark enough that, so what I do personally is I make the symbols larger.
Okay.
Larger and bolder. A lot more black and a lot more negative. Because if you make everything too tight, it's just lost. You know, I mean, you can't do anything. It's not like you could put white in black skin and it becomes lighter. Mm-hmm. No, it disappears pretty much. So that something definitely you have to
larger designs, more white space.
White negative space,
Negative space, I mean, not white space.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, that's just one way. And thanks for the questions, guys, and let us know where you're watching from. That helps us to know,
Yeah, I'm assuming
where our viewers are.
Andrian, are they in Taiwan?
Andrian? Are you in Taiwan, Andrian? Okay, so let's take a look at the next piece. What do we have? James. Oh.
Not that one?
No, that's just another angle of the Aztec piece. Oh, okay. Well, here's another angle. That's the back.
Oh yeah, we didn't see the back.
Yeah, that's the back of it. I love how this tattoo came out. It's because it's different. And
are there serpent heads on it somewhere?
Mm-hmm. On the top, it's.
Oh, I see it there.
Yeah.
Yep, right in the backside.
And here's another angle of this tattoo. And as you could see, it looks similar to a Polynesian tattoo.
Yeah.
So.
What are those? The little what do you call them? Square type things that look
on the back, the tricep.
Yeah.
That was stamp patterns on the walls. So they would just use it on walls. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Man, I had to look up all these symbols and I don't want to mix it up, but yeah, it was.
So it just looks familiar.
Yeah, that's what it's just depicting Aztec right there. So here's a fun piece. I just want to throw it in. It's not Polynesian tribal, and we will be getting to a Polynesian tribal, but here's a tiger. I finally got to do something other than Polynesian tribal. So that was fun. He wanted the eyes green, and later on he's going to go around it with some bamboo, shaping his shoulder. And this client actually has a Polynesian tattoo that I did on his other side that you don't see, but I just want to throw that in for fun and change it up a little bit.
It looks like Manticore.
What is that?
That's the name of Siegfried and Roy's tiger.
Oh, it's not.
That's cool, man.
Does he have green eyes?
Yeah. Yeah, Google it, dude.
Oh, man.
Google it. For real.
I should have used him for a reference, because that was hard to find.
It was a 380 pound tiger, man.
Wow.
White tiger at that. I think it mauled him, but that's for another day.
What's up, Ken? Ken and Jen, in NorCal. Kalenimoto, how's it? West Virginia.
That's funny.
What?
Joe Duarte is like, it's a liger.
Oh, Joe, what's up? Built for it.
Skill magic.
That's real.
I know.
I didn't even know until I was researching a tiger, but okay. So, let's break down this Polynesian tattoo. You know what, guys? I just got done with this tattoo. So let's see it. This 3/4 sleeve, he's going to end up going to a full sleeve. He was a client that flew in. He was on his honeymoon. And
I'm sure she was happy about that. He's like, hey, hon, I'm going to take 15 hours on our honeymoon.
You know what?
Go get tatted.
They were good. She hung out, but it worked out because I got them tickets to the green.
Oh,
and,
sick.
Because she loved the green, and it just came up in conversation. I said, for your honeymoon, man, tonight, have fun, and it worked out. So
That's dope.
so the whole trip worked out. And you know what? If you come here to IslandTAT, we do take into account
You'll get
your
tickets to the green
guests.
all the time.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying.
We care. We just care. You know, I can't promise anything, but a big part, and for you tattoo artists out there, this is important. For you tattoo artists out there, I want to say half of being a tattoo artist is taking care of your clients outside of the tattoo. Respect, being considerate, understanding what they want and giving them what they want. That's all so important as being a tattoo artist. For example, I just heard a story of a woman that went to go get a rose tattoo. Like this just happened today. She just told me a story randomly, and I was like, I gotta tell everyone because this is real stuff. She went to go get a rose on her hip, and the rose was real dainty and feminine, and it was a small bud, right? And she
Just a bud, no stem?
Well, and a stem, but
Okay.
it was real like feminine, right? And
Okay.
small. And she goes to this artist, and this female artist said, "Oh, you don't want that. Like, here, you want this," and pulled out a big rose that's bloomed and everything, right? And this client was like, she thought it was ugly. She was like, "Oh no," and she's being all nice, like, "No, you know what? Like, I really want this."
Right.
So, as a tattoo artist, we gotta understand the client like just researches and just thinks about their tattoo for life, forever. So if they come in with a design, unless they say, "What do you think?" and like, here's a reference, but whatever, you have full freedom. That's
Right.
different. But if they come in saying, "This is what I want," man, that's what they want. You can suggest something, but that's what they want, right?
Unless it's like a design, like oh, I'm coming in with a rock tattoo.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless
yeah.
it's like that.
Unless it's copying straight
Right.
another tattoo
Okay.
or something.
Okay.
But so she basically she wasn't giving so she pulls out a portfolio with 4 different roses, all looked the same, all was this big blooming rose, and was like, "Here, pick one." And the girl was like, in her head, she's like, "They're all ugly. I don't like it. I don't want it. Like, I
Right.
want this one." And she was being as nice as she could, going, "No, I want this." But the artist was like, "No, like, you know what? I'll go get the stencil ready. I'll be back out." And this all happened in 20 minutes, right?
Wow.
But they were causing a ruckus. The owner came by, "Is everything okay?" And she was like, no, we got it. But the girl felt so like she wanted to just get out of there.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend that brought her was friends with them. So then he was like, come on, babe. Like, you're good. Don't worry about it. So she felt really pressured.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you guys, I know this happens with your friends that you bring, maybe even your parents that, try and persuade you to get something that you don't want. I see it. As the artist, I watch it, and I see the client, and I see all the friends around just, like, talking them either out of something or into something.
Right.
So this is why I'm telling the story, because it's funny. I never heard this before. So they go to do the tattoo, and she just doesn't know what to do. So she plans it in her head that she's going to just freak out. So the girl gets the tattoo. She has a stencil on her, and she starts the tattoo with a small little line, and she just she starts freaking out.
No.
And she's just like, "I can't do it. It hurts too much. It just hurts too much." And I was like, "Oh, what, it hurt?" She's like, "No, I just planned it. Like, that's the only way out." So then I was like, "Wow, so you have a line on you?" She goes, "Oh yeah, but thank God I don't have this big ugly rose."
Right.
So that blew my mind that someone would go through all the trouble to walk away with the line, and the artist said, "I'm not going to charge you. Don't worry about it. It's just $100."
What?
$100. So she said $100, and then the girl was like, "Fine, I'll pay. Whatever. I just wanted to run out of there and
That's
just
crazy,
get away
dude.
from it." So $100 for 20 minutes of her time to go through it, and she has a line on her now, and she's completely fine with it because she didn't get the rose.
Right.
Now, for you,
Was it her first tattoo?
Yeah. Yep. First tattoo.
Damn.
Which she doesn't.
Now she's just turned off.
Completely,
Yeah.
She compares all tattoo shops with that, all
Oh, for
tattoo
sure.
experiences with that. So it's just good to know. You guys might know already, but if you are getting a tattoo for the first time, always remember, like, it's on you for life. Too many times you go home and you regret it. You go, when you're in the midst of the shop and all the peer pressure and everyone like looking and talking to you, you'll talk yourself out of everything and you'll just agree. But then when you get home, you're by yourself and you're looking at that tattoo. I've heard the stories, man, where they're like, oh, what did I do? It's crooked. Why didn't I see it? She said it looked good. Why did I believe her?
Yeah, that's brutal,
and
man.
it's life. So we end up covering it or having to fix it. So that's one thing. And as an artist, do what you want. In every industry, there's good, there's bad, there's middle ground. You got to choose where you want to be. If you want to be always swindling and being real, like,
just sneaky.
Yeah,
right?
Just crappy with clients and wanting money. If it's all about money, you're not going to get it.
Right.
You might get bursts of it, but that's it.
Yeah.
Tattooing is longevity. You got to think longevity. If you want to be anything, if you want to last in this industry, especially the booming industry now, I heard people say, "Oh, there's too many tattoo artists. There's too many Polynesian tattoo artists now. I can't." No, you can.
Well, they didn't say good tattoo artists. They just said Polynesian artists, right? I mean, there's a difference.
There's a big difference, but what I try and let people know is it's all about the client. You can be an artist. You can be a great artist. You could have no work. You can have one client every week, and charge a lot and, whatever. But it's who you are. It's who you are as an artist. So
yeah, for sure.
All you artists out there that do great work, love it, are passionate, but don't know why you're not excelling in being a tattoo artist in whether it's Polynesian or whatever, it's the clients. You got to give all your heart into giving the clients what they need and bend over backwards. I've done it so many times, but it always comes back tenfold.
Right.
And I don't do it for that, but I see it come back, So anyway, fun story. Okay.
And Green's tickets. The green tickets, yeah.
You know what? But you can't. What? $30,
no, that's dope, dude.
$30 each. $60. For me, I'm not even looking at the money. My automatic thought was, wow, they're on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
She's sitting here all day. Like, he's in pain, but he's getting a badass piece. But, I can do something for both of them.
That's super nice, man.
That they're like, she told the story. She said, oh my God, like, how crazy is this? Like, we didn't even know they were out here, but they were from Maui. And they said, last year we bought tickets and I couldn't go. I had to give my tickets away and I love the green. So we've been trying to plan it and, like, it never would happen. And I'm like, well, it's meant to be, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's awesome, dude.
And then Robert was able to hook it up and, get it to him. So, yeah, everything worked out.
Good, man. That's good.
So, right here, Bobby Ford says, what's your specific Polynesian style you use? Hawaiian, Samoan, Marquesian, etc., which leads us well into this piece because this is a Polynesian piece. Polynesia, for those of you that don't know, starts at Hawaii on the top, down to Aotearoa or New Zealand and Rapa Nui or Easter Island on the bottom. And in everything within that triangle is Polynesia. So you have islands like Samoa, Tonga, Tahiti, smaller islands, and everything in that is Polynesia. This is a Polynesian tattoo. Let's say Polynesian inspired because I don't hand tap and I don't do traditional tattoos. And I'm guided by my ancestors and my heart. And all I could speak about is me and the way that I do it because I don't want to get caught up in controversy. So hopefully you understand that. But I am going to talk about Patutiki or Marquesian designs in this tattoo. Because the way that I do tattoos or the way that I'm guided to do tattoos is to create a story in Polynesian tattoos. I know it's very popular nowadays to just put symbols together and say that Polynesian tattoos is basically how they used to live back in the day, and it just represents certain things in nature, and that's it.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot, and it's easy to say this is strength and this is family and the end. And I used to do that because that's all I know. You only could do what you know. And right. I was given knowledge and kind of guided to do what I do now, which gives me the responsibility that I have to do this now, and I love it anyway. So let's take a look at this tattoo. And right now we're looking at the inside of his arm. The writing that he has on the inside of his arm is in Greek, I believe, and it means in Christ. Now, he went to Bible college, and he wants to be a pastor. God was number one for him. So he has a cross in there, and a lot of this tattoo had to do with God and the Word of God and basically discipleship, all that, right?
Yeah.
Along with family and his wife and everything. So how I put it together and how I put all tattoos together, I just draw, design, and it just comes to my head, and it's just pieced together, and it's always different. Like, so I like how this came out. So we're gonna talk about it. So let's go to let's see what his next piece is, actually. Right there, okay. So on the back of his arm, right here, on the back of his arm, there's some Patutiki or Marcasian designs. Now, as I was designing his tattoo, he asked me, he said, is there anything that you know of that represents like eternal life? And I said, eternal life, like what? And he goes, just, in God, when Christianity or whatever. And I'm not saying this to lead or guide anyone in this, because there was no Christianity in any of Polynesia, but this is a good example of how you can relate things to the modern world. So he asked that, and the first thing that came to mind was how the universe it starts from man and it goes out to the universe. And it's almost like it's creation. It's like life, right? Creation. And in the Patutiki book right here, there's a symbol. There's a symbol that is, let's see it. I'll show you. Right here. So this symbol right here, you see on his elbow. So let's look at his elbow. And just this symbol, there's a lot of different meanings. I mean, from create, importance of a container in relation to its contents. So that's what it's kind of representing, an ipu, or a gourd or something, and it says universe. So that's what I thought of: creation, universe, everlasting life. And then I thought of light and darkness. So when he said everlasting life, I thought of another Patutiki design is a candle, and it's called a dancing flame, and it's kind of the light that wards off evil or darkness. Mm-hmm. So that's the symbol right under it.
Can you point to it with the cursor? Which one is that?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Actually, let me draw it. I want to draw. Okay, so I'm gonna draw it now. I'm not.
Don't mind my art right there. I was just doodling.
So I'm not a Patutiki specialist or anything. I only know what I study. So there might be a different way to design this or draw it, but this is how I do it. So this is the dancing flame. It's always interesting drawing on here.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, that Patutiki book, is that just a bunch of different information gathered by one person, or are there multiple authors that put their information in?
It's one person, but he's a descendant of other artists, and his genealogy's in there, and he basically explains a lot. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So there. And this is only how I put it together. I'm sure there's like a better way. There's always a better way and another way.
And this is the flame?
Dancing flame, which wards off darkness, evil. But I put it right under the gourd, the universe, like everlasting life, mm-hmm. to create this whole symbol to represent everlasting life. Now, if you ask a Marcasian or Polynesian or anyone that knows tattoos and says, "Oh, does this symbol along with the mana symbol or the gourd mm-hmm. equal everlasting life in Christianity?" Like, no, it doesn't. Like, what? No, it's two different things. Which is why I wanted to show you this and explain how I come up with it. I feel I don't come up with this. I didn't plan it. It just came to me. And that's why I have faith, and I just go with what I feel. That's what Uncle Helamano said. Rest in peace, by the way. Uncle Helamano passed last week. I don't like to think about it because it's a sad thought. But I'm glad that I was able to go and visit him before he passed.
Yeah. Sorry for the loss.
Moving on. Yeah.
That sucks.
Anyway, so what was I saying?
The eternal life.
Yeah. So I'm just guided. I just do what what comes to me as far as the meanings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one example of putting some pieces together. And then let's look at his shoulder. So this next piece right here. So as you can see on his shoulder, I put a cross. To him, God was number one, and it's part of his life. It's what he wanted. Now, if you look behind the cross, I kind of designed like a compass and it's going behind him. And I did that because he said, God's number one, and he wants to be guided in life.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, God's your guidance, pretty much. So I put the compass with the cross. And that's not a traditional cross. I just designed it with elements of Marquesian Patutiki designs and made it look into a cross to flow with everything else he had. And then around the compass or the guidance, I put this design. Again, there's probably I know there's people that do this all the time. There's probably better ways to do it, but that's how I do it. And then another one. I hear your people back there.
They're rocking out next door.
Sing along.
I don't know it. I don't know this one.
You don't know this song?
I don't know this one.
Okay. So this symbol represents a womb for fertility, giving birth, obviously a woman but also creation. And that's what I thought of. It's in this book as well.
Now, Patutiki, that's all Polynesian stuff, right?
It's Marquesian.
Oh, Marquesian. Okay.
So there's different ways to do it. Right here.
The one on the right there?
Right here.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's different styles and ways. And again, I have a lot of books, and I read as much as I can, and I study as much as I can, so that, and I don't memorize everything. I can't possibly memorize everything, but the weird thing is that as I keep this constant in my life, and as I am tattooing, I know that when I do a design or I sit and consult with someone, the right symbol and the right meaning and everything is going to come to my head, and I have faith in that, and that's why randomly certain symbols would just come to my head, and I'll go, oh, that's a perfect fit. I would have never planned that. I can't do that in my own power or whatever. I can't.
I always thought it was so interesting that you do that, or that it happens. You don't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah, I don't do it on purpose. It just happens.
It's
like
weird. It's like you're taken over, and it kind of just almost like when I don't even know how to explain it, but where people sometimes black out and they'll just do something. Or like something happens like in a positive manner, and then they come back and they're like,
"What happened?
Like what happened?" And it's like, dude, you just answered this hard ass question. I don't know.
Like the movies, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, things just come to you. It's really bizarre.
No, I get it.
That you're able to do something like that.
Yeah, and I wish I could. Well, I try and I feel like I can't teach someone, but I try and tell like Big John or Suni this process, because everyone has it. Everyone can do it in their own way, and the amazing thing is to say like, "What's your way?"
Right.
Like how I want to see what you can do, because I don't do this. I always say it's God. It's because it can't be me. But it's amazing. I sit there and I see how a piece is put together. I'm like, wow. Now, is it traditional? No, it's not traditional because that's not what they did. If you want traditional, go to Marquesas Islands, go find someone that does it traditionally and go get it. I mean, that's what it's about.
Right.
But my ancestors and my guidance is guiding me to evolve the culture, because today's world isn't just Marquesians, Hawaiians, Tahiti. We're all blended. We're all like mixed together, and today's world isn't picking fruit from a tree and eating it and hunting boar.
Right.
It's going to a grocery store, which is bad. We need to go back to old times, but we're evolving, and the art evolves too. And as long as you follow, like Uncle Helamano said, your na'au and your pu'uvai, your heart, you'll be guided the right way. And you know what? I just wanted to share how I put stories together, and this is one that I love how it came together.
Yeah.
He loved how it came out. It depicted a lot about what he wanted, his
Right.
whole story and everything. And there's a lot more in there that I didn't go over, but we were kind of over time. So yeah,
Wait,
that's
so
that.
we still had a couple questions. Can we get
Okay,
to
yeah, let's get to.
So
let's get
Anthony,
to it.
I mean, he had a question about the books. Like, any books you recommend that teaches you the meanings?
Oh my goodness.
I know it's a tough question because one, what is he trying to learn? Any specific culture? Like, So Anthony, if you have a quick minute to reply, then maybe Josh has a book that you can specifically, or maybe a general book that can help and kind of encompass everything.
Well, I can only tell you my journey. And my journey, I bought a lot of books and I would read it, and it was very factual. Like Trish Allen's book, great book. Factual though, like history and then what this guy does and this. It's good to have a base of history and culture. And then, for instance, if you just get this book and you read it, you're kind of lost still, because it'll say this means creation, this means birth, this means ancestor, deified. You're like, okay, what does that even mean? I mean, it's kind of hard to take this and then put it in a tattoo. So where I started learning was traveling. When I went out talking to the chiefs, and when I went to Rapa Nui and I saw how they lived, and then now it made sense. Like everything that I read started making sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to Tahiti talking to Chief Mana, and he talked about the ocean and saw the ceremonies that they did, it wasn't no more in a book. Like, oh, it makes sense. But now it didn't make sense there. I could correlate it. Like now cultures, you could see how they connect. And then I went to Canada with some Native Americans. I was like, oh my goodness, like this all connects. We went to Mexico City.
Yeah.
We went to the pyramids, and they're very indigenous out there. So it's a journey. If you just study this, your result will be just this, and it's going to show. If you're really into it and you really want to dive into it, I say talk to people. I say if you listen to this show, I mean, I'm sharing a lot of experiences I've had to help everyone out there kind of get a better understanding of just my viewpoint,
right.
if it helps, and then. Yeah, just I guess I've shown books before. Like this is a great book,
yeah.
But I know that this author would feel almost disrespected if everyone bought this book and just started copying symbols. I show this book because I know the right person is going to find it. I have faith. I know the right person that wants it and will find it. Will look at this title and figure it out. I mean, they're kind of hard to find, but he'll get it, and I'm doing my job,
Yeah.
But just study history. I don't know.
Well, I mean, another thing. I mean, you said go out, travel, go, talk with chiefs. I'm sure the average person wouldn't be able to go and do that, right? Like you just happen to have a little bit of connections, So it's a little bit harder. So maybe books, they're helpful, but also the other means was
books. Yeah. You know what? I put it out there. I do have connects. Ali'i Nui. I mean, Ali'i Nui with Kingdom of Atui. I gotta call him actually because someone inquired about how the kingdom's doing and everything. And
right.
I actually saw him months ago, but he's moving. They're always moving. They're always moving. No matter what media says, and they're always moving because his heart's in the right place. The end. Once you know someone's intention, heart, he's in the right place. And honestly, he has connected me with everyone, and that connection is still alive, where we could travel anywhere, and meet these like real native indigenous people and learn so much. And if anyone's interested, I feel, that's what TATtalk's about. And eventually someone can come and apprentice, learn one day. I'm still waiting for the right apprentice. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Someone with the passion that is willing to do anything, because that's who I was. Right. I was willing to do anything to learn and give up, sacrifice. That's what it is. Sacrificing yourself in time with no excuses. And I'm working with stuff with Ray Lewis. Actually, that's pretty cool. But he's all about.
Let's talk about that, or just like give little tidbits about.
Yeah,
like you dropped his name twice today, and I just wasn't sure if you were.
Yeah, I could talk about. Yeah, I just can't. I shouldn't say details, but
okay.
But yeah. Anyway,
that's awesome.
So
really quick and short though, so you go to a book, you follow the book, you're going to get book results, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing. Life experience is what you recommend.
Yeah, and study the culture instead of the symbols, and while studying the culture, you'll find symbols. That's the better way, because in a lot of books, even Trish Allen's book, type in Trish Allen, she has 2 books, get them both. There's a lot of symbols in there, but she doesn't just talk about the symbol. The whole beginning is all about history and the culture. Mm-hmm. So when she gets the symbol part, you understand it. You're like, oh, I get it.
Right.
And I can't name books. You know what? Maybe next show I'll bring out a bunch of books that I got and that are good. So join us next time and remind me. But yeah, we'll do that. What else we got?
George's is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is God, Josh, and he provides you with the mana to deliver it. So about like doing the tattoos.
Wait, what happened?
Josh, I don't cry at all, but when you did my friend's manta that I lost, I cried like a baby. That is energy or mana. Always love you and your amazing work.
He did.
Like while you were tattooing him?
Yeah, I mean, he teared up. But he talked about this. And since he's saying it, I don't put no one's business out there, but it's nothing to be ashamed of or anything, And he said he felt something. Maybe he felt what I feel. See, and there is a connection, definite. Some people think it's woo woo and all crazy, but it's whatever. I mean, it's real. It's real. It's real mana. It's real energy. And when I hear someone's story, a lot of times I get goosebumps. And when I get goosebumps, in my own way, I say the spirit's talking to me. Yeah. I just connected. So every client that I have, at some point, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
And if I don't, something's not right. But that doesn't mean everyone, I got to get... No, that's just what I've found in my way.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome feeling. I always have a smile when I get the goosebumps because I'm like... It's kind of weird feeling. Like, you're like,
yeah,
I got it.
That's cool.
Got it. And with him, with the manta ray, he did talk about his friend that passed and everything. And, it kind of just was created. And then we did that, and maybe he felt it.
Yeah. That's amazing, though.
It's cool, man. That's part of the culture, too. That's part of the connection.
Bobby just had a question. I kind of been dodging it.
What did he say?
Well, do symbol placements matter? I think you kind of went over it a little bit, but does symbol placement matter? And then other than like aesthetics, like to be
okay. So the easiest idea that I can think of is like the malu design for the Samoan females. They get it on their legs. So I wouldn't put those symbols on a male's arm.
Okay. That's
a simple cut and dry. So every culture has certain symbols that they put specifically for females or males, but it's kind of hard. It's hard because there's a lot of borrowed symbols, and there's a lot of symbols in Philippines that are used throughout Polynesia, and they're very similar, but they mean completely different things. So again, that's on the artist to have to
symbol placement does
understand.
matter. Like if you're putting something this way that's supposed to go this way or something, right? Or they mean different things.
They mean different things, and my ears are always open because I possibly can't know it all. But sometimes I hear, for example, spears going up means you're ready for battle. Spears going down means you're peaceful. I heard that from Pono, and I kind of heard other things like shark's teeth going up, shark's teeth pointing down. But when you hear it from someone, that's his genealogy of knowledge.
Right.
That's not the truth. That's his truth. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's finding their own truth. Because to say that's the truth of that symbol, that's a big statement. That's like, so you're saying in the whole history of the world, that's correct. Only. It's hard. You can't.
Right. Yeah.
So, but you can take it into account, though. You could say, okay, I need to study that. I'm open to it. Put that in my, toolbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just the way that I do it, too. So, what else we got? Oh, Auntie Sharon. I got family on. Hi, Auntie. My mom. And, yeah. Robert.
Yeah. Somebody from MATAIT. Oh, it's a tattoo place, maybe?
Where?
Ali'i Scanlon? Or
I'm missing that.
it's like up. It's like way up on the thread there. But they were just saying they're from Mate Tattoos, Oahu, Hawaii, I think.
Oh, Ali'i. How's it? Nice. Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us. Matai Tattoos?
Yeah, butchered it probably.
Matai.
Yeah.
Matai's chief. Matai Tattoos.
That's dope, man.
Isn't that reason? Okay. All right. Yep. So, hey guys, thanks for joining us. It was a long show. It was a good show. I liked it. James was on. Good to have you.
Thanks, man.
Good to have you on. You got to come on when Robert's here.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you can make it with your busy schedule,
busy.
traveling and just like working so hard.
Oh, dude, it's tough.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. It was fun to get back on. It was fun.
Yeah. And thank you guys for watching. Thanks for commenting. And
you didn't say anything about my hat though. You don't like it?
I love it.
Thanks. That's it.
What is it?
It's just a little something I picked up.
Don't say it.
No, it's a little something I picked up.
It's nice. But anyways, hey guys, thanks for joining. And we'll bring on some books next week. Show you guys some titles and what they're about. And if you guys have any questions or want to talk about any topics, then send us a message. You can comment, and we will see you next week, Tuesday. Thanks for joining us.
Peace out.